It's important to protect the elements of your product when exporting for two reasons. Firstly, you need to make sure that your own technology or brand, whatever intellectual property is comprised in your product, is adequately protected in that jurisdiction, whether by way of a patent, for example, or a trademark application. The second reason is you need to ensure that you're not going to conflict with or bump into any third-party rights, intellectual property rights, when you get out there. So you need to do your clearance searches and check that there's no infringement risk so far as possible. So it's very important to do proper due diligence before you trade overseas. There is a greater risk of trademark infringement in certain countries. I think the risk that we see today is still focused in the Far East, and particularly China. I had a client who found that his entire business model had been not only copied in China but actually trademarked. So he had to knock out his own trademarks effectively before he could start to do business there. I think we are likely to see those same issues emerging in the other newer economies, and the word on the street is that India is likely to be the next place to exercise caution in relation to IP. Well, there are a number of things that you can do to check that your brand name is available in overseas markets. The starting position is to carry out a clearance search through your solicitors or through trademark agents. They will be able to have a look at the register and tell you who's using a similar mark, who might be using an identical mark, and what, if anything, you can do to knock that mark out, or any sort of commercial solutions that you might have, such as a coexistence agreement or even potentially a license in that jurisdiction. It's worth remembering that you can never be 100% certain. Most countries have unregistered rights that are recognised in law to a greater or lesser extent, but just as it isn't in the UK, it isn't always possible to find out exactly who's trading under a particular name, so you can never completely de-risk your brand expansion.